This is a fishing pass that relies on the sea for a living. At this time, I was sitting in a small boat out to sea to fish. Fishing boat. Whoever thinks that the weather at sea will change if it changes. It didn't take long for the sea to be covered by dense fog. The fisherman worried that the boat hits the rocks. Quickly take up the fishing line and prepare to go home. Just then the boat crashed into a sailboat. The fisherman thought this was over. My little fishing boat is not insured either. I'm bankrupt without compensation. Just apologize quickly. But no one on the sailing boat responded after yelling for a long time. Fisherman, out of curiosity, tied the boat to the sailing boat. Climbed up by myself. He soon confirmed that there was no one on the deck. So I got into the cabin again. The sailing cabin is luxuriously decorated. Food, drink and daily necessities are readily available. Obviously the owner has been out to sea for a long time. The fisherman searched in the cabin for a long time. Still didn't find the owner of the ship. Did the owner of the sailing boat encounter any accident? Thinking of this, the fisherman quickly picked up the radio on the sailboat. Want to call the police. Ago found that the white radio on the sailing boat had long since lost its signal. The fisherman turned around and walked to the deck. Take your eyes. The fisherman discovered something was wrong. What about the boat tied to the fence? This is a little baby bought by eating and frugally for 3 years of fishing. If you lose it, your daughter-in-law won't kill me. However, above the sea is surrounded by water and there is a huge fog. The fisherman is in a hurry. There is no way. Finally waited until the fog dissipated. The fisherman wanted to sail home first. The daughter-in-law gets up and says, I ran into a 205 when I went to sea today. I have to trade the big boat for my own boat. Just like that, the fisherman played around on the boat for a long time. In this way, the foreign class was revealed on the ship for a long time. I was disappointed to find. This sailing boat is just as bad as it is. Ship gold and jade outside, among them. Everything from the engine to the steering wheel is broken. Now I can only drift around in the wind. Where to go depends on God. The depressed fisherman prepares. Hush to the sea to release. As a result, it was just ready to be convenient, but the sails suddenly turned. Patted him on the back. The fisherman almost fell into the sea. Fortunately, he grabbed the guardrail in time to save his life. Just like that, the fisherman tried his best. Finally pulled myself up. Frightened, he never dared to urinate anywhere. Go back to the cabin and face the toilet for convenience. Suddenly the door to the toilet closed automatically when there was no wind. The fisherman put on his pants and quickly opened the door. It turns out that the door is locked tightly. No matter how he twists it, there is no response. The fisherman is anxious now. I found the storage plant directly. Want to find a handy tool. The one who opened the door to reflect the city as a death. When you open the cabinet door, you see a bloody handprint. The fisherman was so scared that the chicken skin was shrunk. Holding it in a panic, little scissors cocked the door lock. At this time, the collision warning sound was uploaded from the center console. The fisherman quickly opened the he showway to look outside. The fisherman hurriedly opened the small window of the windhouse and looked out. Sure enough, a huge cargo ship was crashing towards the sailboat. The fisherman panicked. Can't get out for a while. Rich fishing experience at the critical moment saved him. I saw him put a hand out the window. Grabbed the rope of a sail and tied a knot. Just throw it towards the spiral award. The rope floated along the ocean current to the spiral prize. Sure enough, the spiral award is tightly entangled. This is an unmanned sailing ship precariously on the Atlantic Ocean. A fisherman saw no one on the boat. I went up and borrowed the toilet. But the toilet door got stuck strangely. At the same time, a huge cargo ship is approaching the sailing ship. In order to save his life, Yushin can only throw out the rope and wrap the spiral award. Who thinks but forgets that he is still holding the rope. As the propeller is huge, the rope is instantly thin and straight. The fisherman was stuck in his throat by fate. The fisherman was strangled, unable to breathe, and soon began to foam at the mouth. Of course the fisherman didn't give up on saving himself. Have given up on eye rescue. He fumbled a pole out of the small window. Desperately up the rope. I finally took off the rope when I was about to lose consciousness. Immediately after the freighter and the sailboat had a friendly little friction. Although the sailboat was injured and started to enter the water, but also escaped the worst result of ship destruction. Just when the fisherman just breathed a sigh of relief. When ready to take a break, the rope entangled the propeller broke instantly. The sailing boat headed for the unknown distance. The accumulation of water in the bathroom is slowly increasing. Gradually fear dominates all the fisherman's heart the mouth. He held the cup and kept pouring water out the window. But a drop in the bucket can't stop the sea from gradually filling the bathroom. What's more frightening is that the sailboat sailed straight to the stormy area. Storm clouds engulfed the sailing ship. The fisherman and the sailing boat are like a leaf in the river. Helplessly let the storm hit. In order to save my life, the fisherman had to rise up to survive. I saw him draw a blade out of the small window, trying to cut the rope of the sail. The fisherman's hand was cut with blood dripping from the blade. Finally heard the sound of the cable breaking. With the lowering of the canvas, the sailing boat finally avoided the end of ship destruction. The fisherman quickly closed the small window. Then he desperately fixed his body, praying for the storm to pass as soon as possible. The fisherman fell asleep in a daze. When I wake up, the sky is clear. But the water in the bathroom has already filled my neck. Seeing that the bathroom is about to become my own coffin, the fisherman can only summon his last strength. Hit the door desperately. This time the weird power on the door disappeared. The fisherman hit the gate twice and it collapsed. The fisherman usually escaped from the sailboat. Before setting up, I only took a little food and a small boat remodeled by the door panel. What he never expected was, he sat on the boat and waited for a long time. The sailboat that was supposed to sink into the water is calmly swaying on the surface. Yan is swaying on the sea, as if mocking the fisherman for being a fool. The fisherman naturally knows that by virtue of the door panel, it is impossible to survive in the sea for long. After confirming that the sailboat will not sink, reboard. After boarding the ship, he patched up the loopholes with the tools on the ship. Drained the water in the cabin. Immediately afterwards, I started playing with the sails. Want to go home. Suddenly heard the sound of a boat behind me. The fisherman looked back. A freighter was found not far away. The fisherman on the weird sailing boat. Not only can the sailing ship go without wind, and it won't sink if water enters. The fisherman who thought hell was eager to leave. At this time, a freighter appeared not far away. The fisherman wants to catch this straw. Ping Tong jumped into the sea every time. Jump into the sea with a plop. Raft on the door panel transformation. Started paddling desperately. Unexpectedly, this sailing boat is also a temperament. I saw the fisherman go with a new joy. Suddenly anger rises from the cabin. Turn the bow directly and hit the fisherman. The fisherman slammed into his sailboat in the face of no wind. So scared to jump directly into the sea. Immediately after the modification of the door panel, the raft was hit and shattered. The delayed cargo ship has sailed far away. But the fisherman still refused to return to the sailboat. Just soaked in the sea for a few hours. Soon after the fisherman found something under his feet. In an instant he thought of sharks. Just when he was about to frighten P. Hanged his sitting objects in the water popped up. It turned out to be just a few naughty dolphins. The fisherman was greatly relieved. Reach out and play with the dolphins. But it didn't take long for the dolphins to seem to have noticed something. Turn around one after another. The fisherman looked back. I found out that the sailboat was driving to the side automatically. Seems to be beckoning him to board the boat. Now the fisherman can finally be sure. This is a ghost ship. But the fisherman who has exhausted his energy in the cold water. No choice at all, can only bite the bullet and board the boat. He didn't dare to move after getting on the boat. Just worked out a quilt. Curled up on the boat and fell asleep in a daze. When I woke up, the sky was clear outside. The fisherman just got ready to take a look on the deck. I found that the door of the cabin was also weirdly locked. It's exactly the same as the last time the toilet door was locked. As the saying goes, the experienced fisherman did not rush to hit the door. Instead, it probed inside the cabin. The door panel of the bathroom has been removed by him. So the toilet has become the safest place. The fisherman began to explore the first time. Harvest soon. After the toilet lid is lowered, a hidden door for only one person to pass through appeared in front of us. The fisherman thought this hidden door could lead to the deck. I got in without thinking. After the crawl, the fisherman really saw the deck. But the glass window at the exit of the passage is locked. The fisherman pushed it desperately for a long time. The glass window is still untouched. In desperation, his heart retreated. Who wants to hear a strange cry from under his feet? This secret door was automatically locked. Secret door. This broken ship is the third time. Tied the fisherman in a confined space. And the third time has the smallest space. The fisherman stays inside and has difficulty even turning around. It didn't take long for me to feel guilty. At this time, the fisherman saw the buildings by the sea through the glass. This sailing boat is unmanned. Actually docked. I saw a glimmer of hope in despair. Let the fisherman's mentality completely collapse. He helplessly apologized to the sailing boat, saying that you are stupid and ignorant, provoke your eldest brother. As long as brother let me disembark, I will definitely come to see big brother every New Year's Day in the future. The sailboat seemed to understand the fisherman's begging for mercy. As a result, the door on the sailing boat opened automatically. The fisherman was ignorant of the boat. Walked up. For self-defense. He also picked up a fire stick. After a lot of investigations. Oh, I found that there was no one here just like on the boat. The buildings are also broken walls. It seems that no one has been here for hundreds of years. A fisherman who feels something is wrong. Hurry back to the shore and want to reboard the ship. The weird thing happened again. This sailing ship has not raised its sails. When no one is driving. In the case of, I turned around and drove toward the depths of the ocean. Disappear without a trace in the blink of an eye. With no hope of escape, the fisherman had to walk deep into the landing site. As a result, as I walked, I found that the surrounding buildings became more and more familiar. Then he walked into his home. And the fishing boat in front of his house docked at the seaside steadily. As if the fisherman never went out. So far, the whole play ends. The movie, Desperate Lone Sail. It's a movie that reduces the cost to the extreme. There are only 2 boats in the male lead in the whole film. But the director uses the rhythm, the soundtrack, and the suspenseful setting. He just created a special horror atmosphere. Note that the audience can't help but keep seeing the ending. It's a pity that the ending of the movie failed to complete the logic. Bloody handprints on the ship. There is no explanation for why the boat will go without wind. Okay, that's all for today's movie. If you like me, follow me.